Speaking of which, sad news, Davey Johnson passed away. Just an absolute legend. I had no idea how much. I only knew him as a manager. He played, his career ended before my time, sort of in like the 70s. But he played for those incredible Oriole teams in the late 1960s. I believe they won it in 66 and 70 with both Robinsons, Brooks and Frank. That whole great run that the Orioles had. Mid-60s right through the late 70s of just incredible offensive, defensive players and pitching staff. Then he goes on to manage, and this is amazing. He managed when he became a baseball manager after he retired. He also went on to the Braves and was part of, with Hank Aaron, and was on the first MLB team where they had 3 players with 40 or more home runs. It was him, Hank Aaron, and I apologize, I don't know the other guy's name. So the guy retires. That's how legendary this guy is. He coached 3 years in the minors, each at a progressively high level. And on all of the 3 years, he won a championship. And then he took over for the New York Mets, and the rest is history. Won it in '86, one of the greatest comebacks, in World Series history. And one of the most, that was the one. As a Red Sox fan, they all this fucking Bucky Dent shit and all the Yankees. It wasn't that. It was fucking '86. Because no matter what the Yankees did to us, it was during the regular season, or it was before the World Series. Even like when they beat us in the playoffs with Aaron Boone, it was like we won it the next year, so it didn't have a chance to marinate. But I will fucking tell you what, that Mets loss in 1986. I watch it now that we've won World Series, and I can actually appreciate how fucking hysterical it is. I mean, if you had it in a Hollywood script, it'd be like, who gives up 15 singles in a row? That's what it felt like. But anyways, Davey Johnson managed that team, and I think he went on to the Reds, and he did all of this stuff right on through like the Nationals, just like I would put him up there with sort of a, like he carried the torch of a guy, say like a Don Zimmer or a Joe Torre, those guys who actually played the game and then, had just as much success or if not more success as a manager. Like I remember Don Zimmer played on like the 55 Dodgers. Joe Torre was on the Braves. I want to say maybe the Cardinals too. I don't know. But anyway, just a baseball guy. So rest in peace to him. And Ken Dryden of the Montreal Canadiens. I didn't know this. The fucking Boston Bruins actually drafted him. Oops. I got to research how he ended up on the Canadiens, but absolutely stonewalled us through the 70s. He only played like he held out. One of the, when we won in 72, I believe I read it real quick before the podcast. I believe he held out for an entire year. So we didn't have to go up against him with Esposito, Kenny Hodge, and all of those guys, Derek Sanderson, Bobby Orr. Thank God he did, because who knows what would have happened. That guy was like that good. He played from like 1971 to 80 or 79, I believe. He won the Stanley Cup in 71, 73, 76, 77, 78, and 79, and then called it a career. Got into politics, wrote a whole bunch of books. Was truly a Renaissance man. And I remember all of my buddies that I worked with in the warehousing that were 10 years older than me. Oh my God, the nightmare stories they used to they used to tell me about Ken Dryden. And there was no eye contact, and they would just shake their head. I mean, he was that good. 6'4", an absolute beast, and had a whole, like I said, a career as an author and a politician and all that. Incredible. Anyways, which brings me back to myself, 57-year-old bald ginger who's playing Thousand Oaks. Which admittedly pales in comparison to the accomplishments of Davey Johnson and Ken Dryden.